Hello everyone, my name is Disc. This is a 20 Nexus-Point Xenas. I know I did a Nexus-Point last week, but that was a failed key. This one is a timed key, so I thought, fair game for content. I played it better. This is a total pug. Macros firing,
5, 4,
Radiance,
3,
Evangelism, and Shields at tank.
1.
Custom run command. Also big feature here are my enemy nameplates.
5,
A big
4,
shout out to the author of
2,
Better Blizz Plates.
1.
He's been working with me to make it what I think is the best nameplate add-on in the game. So yep, trying to keep things as clean as possible with nameplates. We only need them for a couple of things. So we're trying to highlight our dot spread and where our executes are. And you can kind of turn everything else off. But important here to fade against the snares. Also watching your feet big time. We definitely want to play uppies in our first pull. But I prefer uppies with a handful of dots out. So mind soothing those guys for some comfort. Yeah, here's the uppies. Honestly, I would have liked to have played it a little sooner in the pull, but it's whatever. I would say definitely try to attack the mana batteries, even as the healer. I would say it's a mechanic for you just as much as it is for anyone. Getting executes on it. Okay, and so also playing Oracle, something I'm starting to think about is my mana. We have to think about it always. I'm at 67. So we're tracking one attack with the Circuit Seer on his nameplate. We just had the first attack, and I really didn't pop anything and we got through it. But you definitely want to play at least a Mind Blast against it. So here's the second one. Radiance with a Mind Blast. Offensive Penance. So that's an area where I would say that that attack clearly isn't too terrible as long as you see it coming. So using something like X-Boss here, which shows the timer on the nameplate, makes a big difference because, yeah, honestly, all you need is a Mind Blast with it and you're set. We did just get PI. We want one more round. I definitely need to drink. There it is. So on open here, let's see how I do it. Really strong openers, I would say, include a dot cast straight into your penance, which is what I did there. I want to put a penance on cooldown. I want to start opening with dot spread. Fade. Okay, we have PI. So that was definitely a little bit of a rocky start there. Looks like I'm switching to the caster here. If anyone knows a better focus, I don't know, I picked the caster. I think I sniped an execute there. It's, if you ask me, it's the easiest way to see executes is when the nameplate changes color. And with these nameplates, they change white. Makes it really easy to see them and kind of try and get them. So our shaman is getting completely ate up. You definitely have to watch out for when people cannot break those snares, and that's what just happened. Let's see, Paladin has one right now. So with the nameplates, it's pretty major, I would say, as a range class. I've brought them all down on the Y-axis. Helps them stack better before they clump at the top. So we're back to a seer. Want to play Fade against his attack, which we see on the nameplate. And it really didn't hurt anyone. So it looks like I threw a fear there too. This is not a bad area to play that spell. It's in between this main attack, and your fear can interrupt the arcane explosion. Yeah. So, speaking of, I kind of forgot that happened in this run. But, yeah, that was the arcane explosion that led to a death. In my defense, I had already used my fear, so could have been better to hold my fear. So, full mana. Hopefully I refresh a palm here. Set up 2 grips. And, so this boss, I don't think we had a single death, but I did kind of flop my first detonation. And all I mean is I forgot to play uppies. So I think I play uppies off of the cycle just to preserve its uptime. Yeah, let's just watch. So the detonation's incoming. All I'm thinking really is stop playing penance. I want both charges. This first round, the plan is uppies. Play my Mind Blast early just to bank that proc. And very importantly here, we have to watch for the overlapping mechanic of the single target and react to prio them. Thankfully we had a Shadow Mend. I was first picked. Getting a couple heals out first. And so this is where I realize that was my uppies round, and I did not play it. We got through the mechanic, but here's the uppies. We just have to put it on cooldown. So the way I plan it is the second detonation is evangelism, and that's pretty much all you need. So I start banking my penance. I believe that's the last one I play. Play the Mind Blast. Just go ahead and bank that proc. Let the cooldown reset. And I'm probably going to play Fade with this. Evangelism, double Radiant. Yep. I was first picked. And it's really cringe when the healer's picked with that detonation. Did that happen twice in a row? But, yeah, for my evangelism round, pretty much all I do is open with evangelism and then spam both my radiants out. And then watch for the overlap of the single target for a fat penance, because we had already played our Mind Blast also. So here comes another one. I have a Shadow Mend. This is one area where you'll see me use Plea. So I Fade and Paints Up. Favor the single target with the Shadow Mend. And, yeah. So this is where I didn't necessarily like the play. The Shaman was kind of greeting, holding his dot just to DPS. But it got a little spooky when we had 2, but thankfully, boss down. So let's see, refresh a palm, then take the transport. The next boss is the only one that actually scares me. The first boss... Sorry, the first boss I find a lot easier now that I've kind of set my spells that way. But I pick a focus early on the image here. Just trying to coordinate our damage. So really nice play from the Paladin. He gave me a sack on top of my own personals. I was picked with a dot. One of the, I would say probably bigger mechanics to look for. It's not a dispellable dot. It's not a bleed. It's just a damage over time. It can hurt pretty bad. You gotta watch for him. Like we have Paladin and the monk right now. But the magic dispels, I would say still important to play those. But low prio. Or you probably don't want 2 out. So I'm running low on mana. I think I had to fight this tank a little bit for pushing me to 0. I don't think it caused any deaths, but if I can't cast... Okay, we have a sack on the tank. We have penitence. Yeah, so penitence, I find it always a little bit better after a couple natural casts. So I'll play my Mind Blast, I'll play a couple penance for dot spread, uppies with dots out. %50 mana. Something I noticed too in watching one of my last videos back is I will have Shadow Mends and like not be using them. So I've tried to give more attention. So that pull was really crazy. I think it's a miracle we lived. If anyone knows exactly what just happened, something was wrong with the Paladin. He had a dot, and then thankfully we got through that. Yeah, I'd be interested to watch that playback too. And that 10% mana. Shadow Meld in 5. Yeah, try to grip the tank back. All I need is combat to break and you can move on. But he chained combat there at the very last second. Really unfortunate. That was, I would say that was a big loss on his part. Yeah, so this whole pull, I can't cast. I'm losing all my DPS. I'm not able to, like... It's just not an enjoyable experience, you know? I do have Meld. I believe we use it here. I just couldn't meld at the start of a pull. I have to wait until the end of a pull. Switch targets for some dot spread. And meld. Oh my god. So, we're back. Yeah, we do time this key by a minute. I forget our death count. Let's see, we have PI coming up. I've pretty much just been PIing the Paladin. I guess a thought I had is, without being able to coordinate in Discord, they're a 30-second class, so it's likely they're going to be in their window whenever I PI them. So I guess I just feel like that's not a bad play. Anyone has other thoughts? Yeah, and we have these drain mechanics. All they really need is a Shadow Mend if you have them. But I'm noticing with Oracle, that's kind of what I'm spending most of my energy on, is dot spread. Even found a new keybind for my dot. I can do it with both hands. I have my targets dot above my penance. That's another new addition in my PI. Helping me determine, is my penance going to hit a dot or not? And we have uppies. Definitely want to play it here for the uptime. I'd be curious to watch this back and see when it came up. But I really like seeing that tick mark on my target's health. I think it makes a difference. Oh, so we do have a failed mechanic on the boss. We have 2 deaths. I'm one of them. So that's something to watch for when we get there. But we have 1 PI we can play here. And I think that's our last one. I would say the best play with PI here is accept a little loss on its uptime and save it for the burn phase on boss. So I think that's the last one, but let's see. And honestly, in most of these pulls on the platform, all I'm thinking is play DPS. Just honestly pumping as much as I can, letting Radiance do my atonement, and just really DPS as hard as I can. Something else I wanted to start featuring is... Uh-oh. With Ellesmere's, I have the damage meters as his, but they track avoidable damage. So that's something I used to focus a lot on in my older videos, but I had lost the way to do that until recently. So it's something I would say it's important to check yourself on. Character position and like your ability to position and reposition is a major component when it comes to your input. So spell casting and movement, I would say, are those 2 categories, and avoidable damage, I think, is a test of how well you can position yourself. But yeah, you definitely want to be low on that list, and I'm the lowest, at least right now. Alright, so back to this pull. Definitely want to attack the bigger guy, the Sentinel. Have my focus set on him. And we're tracking 1 attack on his nameplate, trying to counter it with things like Mind Blast. And we do have PI, but this is where we sit on the cast for the burn on boss. Is this the last round? I wish there was a counter on screen for that. Like some gauntlets have that, I can't even count to 3. Okay, so we have boss. The flare is the only thing we're tracking, really. 20 seconds away. Definitely want to watch for these 2 target attacks. I have a void shield. I wait for the attack to go out, and that guarantees that the shields go to them. And at this point, I'm still kind of thinking dot spread, but just with my penance. So I kind of banked a penance, waiting for the adds to spawn. So when you're picked, you definitely want to flash heal. That's for the 10% damage reduction. It sucks when you're picked. I definitely think you should play Fade against the single target attack. Okay, here we go. So we open with a handful of natural spells. uppies with a void shield cast on the way up. So the uppies round is largely free. I still play my valuable spells before the uppies. Yeah, you gotta get those out too, but then just play the uppies, you know, the latter half of the attack. But so the uppies one is free. The next ones, I always kind of hold my breath. I'm not too sure how well Oracle does them. Maybe I'm just bad, but... Okay, staggered in a paints up on our tank here after his bark skin. Not a bad idea to give him a little love on that while the ads are up. But here's where I think we have a mistake. Yeah, right there.
Your survival
So,
wasn't necessary.
watching it back,
3, 2, 1.
I could have moved out of the way. I kind of didn't see it coming. I wasn't expecting it. Is what it is. But yeah, when you're picked with these, I think the best word of wisdom is play your fade as delayed as you can. Not this time, though. Okay. So it looks like I did send PI there with about half of it lost. I think that's a fair play though. We had some deaths and lost time there. We had to kill that bitch. Alright, we have 7.5 minutes. This is an area where Mass Dispel is going to come in big handy. And also we are testing our reaction times on the single target magics too. So Mass Dispel comes in real handy. Reaction time is a must. Set my focus early on the image here. One of the reasons I like setting my focus on the bigger guys is because it's ensuring I have a target. So if you're attacking the person that has the most health, you're more likely to be able to hit your smite and have it return. So I like attacking the biggest guy. I think it's fair to attack the biggest guy in general, but it's kind of ensuring we have something to atone off of. So in this play, let's see how it goes. Mass Dispel. Oh, shit. Okay, single Dispel as quickly as I can. So I would say really important we focus one down together. And I believe we're split target. We don't want two magics going out at once. Yeah, we're definitely split. Just got PI. We have uppies we can use. I believe I send it once the pool's a little bigger. PI's out now too. Yeah. So this is a penitence, I would say, just for uptime. We're going to get one more on the boss. I think we could have chained here. So, quick magic dispels. An amazing sack. So I believe I was reaching to give a paints up. I only have one left. But then thankfully we had a sack. I would say though, a little sad to see the sack come before his own personal. Same there too. Paints up before their own personal. So a lot of mechanics in WoW, I think, test reaction times. These are just some of them. Uh-oh. So this was my meld. I was trying not to break it. Good. So trash is at 100, 4 minutes 20 seconds, good number. And we time with 50 seconds. So largely on this boss, I just try to DPS the best I can. It doesn't really ask much of your healing. If you're picked with a mechanic, use a personal. Evangelism you can use pretty freely. I think one important thing not to forget with evangelism is like playing it before you void shield. Get really nice buffs on those. And yeah, in good practice, the best you can with a void shield. That was a good example. I kind of held it and banked it. Waited for the 3 target attack to go out. And then cast the void shield. And it defaults it to the 3 of us that were picked. Played Fade there. I always like to play Fade. I don't trust nobody. And I PIR Shaman this time. So I believe they do better single target. And if you look at the meters, he's definitely beating the other guys in single target. So. And for the most part, I'm trying to like kind of judge how many penance are going offensive or defensive. I don't think I've spent a single one defensively yet. Here comes Mind Blast. Both penance are on cooldown. Mind Blast early. Too fat Shadow Mend. And Evangelism. So, kind of similar to Uppies, or with most of my cooldowns, the later I can delay it, I think makes it stronger. So I kind of like try and lean into my base spells first, and then Uppies late, or Evangelism late, or late Paints Up. Okay, picked again. Let's see what I do. Fade and Desperate Prayer. Looks nice. We're all running a defensive. And I try and say it, but it's I think maybe it was underrated in my mind for a while, but always playing a flash heal if you're picked. I forget the name of that talent, but it gives you 10% damage reduction. So when you stack that with your Fade, I would say you're pretty tanky. Okay, so we have Uppies here. Clean it right before we go up. Just got PI as well. Let's see how quickly I play PI. Oh, it's spooky. PI's out. Evangelism, just some spell dump. And Nexus down. So, pretty excited for the next season. I think I'm confidently in the 1% for that title, so that's kind of cool. Did it by accident. I think it feels a-okay in Mythic Plus as far as being viable, but I don't really have fun playing it. I think going into Season 2, it looks like a lot of the changes are going to make it fun again. Open up the door for Voidweaver, which is my main spec. And yeah, I find it just a little bit boring. I found ways to make it more exciting, improving my UI, helping me min-max elements like dotting or whatever. But yeah, looking forward to the changes. Thanks everyone for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Medify for WoW coaching. And until next time, peace.